Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the T&T Podcast. As always, it's your boy Tyler Layfield. I'm joined by my co-host Torres Finney. Torres, how's it going?
What's up, Tyler? Man, happy to be here, brother. Happy to be here once again. I'm excited. Have an opportunity to get ready for this upcoming fight, man. We in about 2 days. It's fight week, so let's go.
Yeah, man. It's that time. This is our last show with Torres on before the big fight. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive right into this thing, man. Let's preview this thing. Obviously, we know it is your third time fighting in front of the Dana White Contender Series. In front of everybody on national television. Obviously, we know the first two times came out with a dub, just didn't end up leaving with a contract, and so ultimately that's the mission for this one. So going into this one, I know we've kind of briefly talked about it here and there, but tell us a little bit about your opponent and what you think we'll be able to see leading up into this fight.
Yeah, man. So really excited for this fight. I'm fighting a guy named Abdullah Rami. Abdullah is from Spain. He's originally was born in Morocco, and now he's moved down to he moved to Spain like around the time he was born, and he's been living there ever since. So he's been living there. He grew up as a kickboxer. Just been doing kickboxing mainly his life. He got into MMA in 2019. So around the same time I got into it, I got in about 2020. And his background mainly kickboxing, and that's one of his main things. He hadn't fought in a year. He ain't fought since last year. He fought in PFL Europe. He was preparing. He was going to do the PFL 205 for Europe tournament, but he had some medical complications with his eye and things. That he from home previous times ago. So now he's on a contender series. So now he's finally getting his opportunity and his shot. And yeah, I really like the matchup. He's 7-1. They say he's 6 foot. I feel like he's a little shorter than that, but at least he's not 6'5" like Cam.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different things. Obviously, this guy poses in the last fight, but I really do like the matchup for myself.
Yeah, what kind of fighter? So you said he's kickboxer type. How does he match up with the style that we know that you're going to come into this? We know your signature slams, your ground and pound, getting him to the ground. Trying to maybe get some submissions. Also, cut him up if you can, that kind of thing. How do you think he matches up against that?
I definitely think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for him because again, he's a kickboxer. Guys that haven't that grew up doing something besides wrestling. It's just going to be hard to always close that gap no matter how much you do it, unless you are born by doing that, like growing up doing it. And anybody that knows it's hard to learn wrestling at a certain age. You have to, especially once you get an adult. After that adolescent age, it becomes harder to learn. Now, granted, in MMA, everything's different with punches and elbows and knees are thrown into equation. Yeah, it changed up the whole concept. But for my game, I definitely think it's going to be really hard for him to make that adjustment, especially after 4 weeks. He was supposed to fight somebody completely different. He was getting ready to fight a striker from a guy I know of in Nashville MMA. The guy was mainly a striker. It was going to be a back and forth striking fight. Now he gets randomly out of nowhere a heavy grappler, and then the fact that he gets a grappler on 4 weeks' notice, or 4 to 5 weeks' notice. So you get a guy like me on short notice, you're like, wow. When expecting to, it changes up. So my style is easy to fight on short notice. Granted, I never want to fight on short notice, but if I have to, but it helps that I was just in fight camp and then I only got a week off and then got right back in the fight camp. So it's actually ideally what I did a little bit, get a week after I had my knockout and getting ready for Cam. Took a week off and jumped right back in fight camp. So the beauty of this is my style is definitely more applicable for fighting on short notice because it's about me handling my business and me doing what I do, while his style sometimes it is predicated on matchup. So
yeah, should throw a wrench in the mix for him is what it sounds like. So going into this third stint on Dana White Contender Series, you probably have a little ritual you got by now. You arrive there early, you go through some things, you probably spar a little bit, keep yourself in shape, go through your weight cut, all that kind of things. you've been here enough times. I feel like you've got that going on. Is there anything you think you might do a little different this trip around, or you think it's just you're gonna keep it the same old, same old?
No, nothing really too different. We got our place to stay. What we're going to do. Nothing really going to be too much in the change of plans for me. It's just more of me just staying focused on the task at hand and
Mm-hmm.
going in here and find a way to get the win. That's again at the end of the day, that's always going to be the main thing that matters to me. I have opportunity. I live I'm big in the MMA world, in the MMA community. Anybody that fights understand it is hard to win 10 straight MMA fights, regardless of how you do it, where you do it, or who you do it with. It is hard to win 10 straight MMA fights, and I have an opportunity and a blessing to be able to do it at the beginning of my career. Opportunity to go 10-0, opportunity to make history. Nobody never done it before, even though that's not a record most people want. The same way I never wanted the takedown record for the Dana White Contender Series, but it's a record we're
Yeah.
going to have. I got that record. Also got the record for only one to win twice, not to get a contract. Now let's be the first one to ever win 3 fights, but this time let's get the contract. So, um, you know, it's definitely different things that has played into my favor. And I'm just going to take advantage of it and make the best of it. But the main thing is still the main thing. Go in there and find a way to get the W, and I'll let everything else fall into place.
What do you think has to happen for you to come away with a contract? Like, what was the perfect scenario you think here for this time around? Going in, obviously getting a victory. I feel like that's a non-negotiable for the most part, right? Yeah, at least from what I've seen in Dana White Contender Series, you come in with a victory. But what do you think you need to do that would push Dana to undeniably say you're getting a contract here? What do you think that would have to be?
Well, I mean, I've got to finish. I've won by decision. So it's like
Yeah.
hey, just go by. Go in and get a finish and win again. That's to me what I feel like. But I mean, at this point, I really don't think about it because it's like I've seen him give contracts to others in different situations, scenarios, and to me, it's just like it is what it is. I'm not coming to fight for the contract. I'm coming to fight because it's a challenge. The
Mm-hmm.
challenge of whatever you speak of or whatever you say, but I always get doubted. I could care less because I go in
Used
here and
to it.
win. I'm always as long as I get my hand raised, everything else falls into place for me, and that's all that matters to me. So we'll see whatever happens. That's all up to Dana. It's different when you go in here for a third time. First time, yo man, you're like a kid. You're giddy,
Jitters.
and I
Yeah.
can't wait to get him in. Second time, all right. Let's a third time. You just fall where the chips lay, man. I've seen it all. Now. I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey, it is what it is. So I have no worry. My main purpose is go ahead and get this W, 10-0. Man, I look 10-0, 10 straight fights. As a professional, you could have never told me this. That is my main goal.
Okay, good. One more thing, and we talked about it before the show started, but you have something that's dropping here pretty soon. Something that you've kind of hinted at to some other people. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so I have a fight documentary that's coming out. It's really exciting. It's definitely coming out. It should be coming out in about 30 to 40 minutes. It's been taking a while to upload. It's a little bit of a big file, but it's really exciting. You obviously going to get a chance to see me behind the scenes of fighting, and a lot of the stuff to help prepare. People see me behind the scenes prepare for some of my regional fights. Now you get a chance to see me prepare for the Dana White Contender Series. Some of the stuff we do behind the scenes and things that go on. And yeah, man, it's really good. I've watched it yesterday. Really, really good. Definitely had to do some editing things to it because definitely didn't expect to be back uh, right back in a few weeks. So
For real.
I'm definitely excited for it to come out and for people and all the fans to be enjoying and watching.
Yeah, man. Well, that's awesome. Any last things you want to leave the people with, regarding the fight for, this upcoming fight you got?
Man, definitely tune in, man. This is an opportunity at me to be able to create some history for myself and obviously, on the contender series, but definitely tune in and yeah, man, this is definitely, I really do believe it's going to be a big special moment for me. And I'm just really, really excited to finally get another opportunity, but, not for the fact it's a contender series, but just the fact that I'm about to fight my 10th professional MMA fight. That is what
It's
really gives me
crazy.
that
It's a
fight 10.
milestone.
It is, like I'm at that 10 number. My goal by the end of my career, I did say I want to have at least 40. I want to have 40 professional
Wow.
MMA fights.
Wow.
And yeah, man, I'm at 10. I got 31
Quarter
to
of the way
go.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a long way. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
That's a long
Yeah.
way, y'all. That
Yeah.
is a long, long way. But I really do believe, staying on the track. Make sure no crazy injuries. But yeah, man, I'm about to fight my 10th fight, and let's get this 10th straight win, man. And all the way back to my amateur career, man, it'll be 15 straight victories, man. That's hard to do in fighting. It's like it's not like boxing. Boxing, not saying boxing is easy, but the way they do matchups,
Hmm.
fight a lot of give me matchups. I've had to fight
Yeah.
some tough guys and still find a way to get all the way, to this point. So it's been a blessing, and yeah, we definitely gonna get the job done October 1st.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, well, we'll transition it over to football, or we're going to do our weekly football recap. This is where we always break down college and NFL from this past week, and just what we noticed and what we've seen, and things that we want to highlight. So, Torres, give me your number one storyline that you take away from college football this past week.
My number one storyline, because I tuned into the game the most for me, and it was the best game of the week for me, was the Colorado and Baylor game.
I
Colorado
knew
and
you were going to
Baylor,
go with it.
bro. What a
Because
freaking
you even mentioned it before. That was one you wanted to throw in.
I
Because I didn't
did.
even have that on the docket. You threw that one in last minute, and you were right,
Bro,
man. I didn't
yeah,
stay up
listen.
for it. I went to sleep. I was tired, but I knew you were going to stay up for that one.
Hey, I lived up to it, man, dude. Baylor, bro. I mean, they played their hearts out, bro, and they had the game won. I mean, you talking about having the game won. I mean, before the Hail Mary, before we get to that, the ball is wide open in number 14's hand. He gets the ball, boom, hits him right in the helmet, boom, comes right through his hands. He misses the catch. You're like,
Mm,
whoa, that was the opportunity to score with the game on the line. Dang, Colorado, they're gonna eat. That's gonna be hard for Colorado to sleep with, bro. The very next play, an even harder touch to make. Wilson turned around, falling forward in the end zone, makes the catch. I don't even understand. While Shador is being hit, trailing back, throwing it. I mean, what a throw to be able to make an accurate throw like that while being under pressure, being hit and falling back. Then for the guy to catch it right here. And then Travis Hunter,
yeah,
without
just a
question.
stud.
Y'all can talk about your quarterbacks, you can talk about your running backs and whoever. But he is, to me, the best player in college football right now. I mean, this guy, he caught 7 catches for 160 something yards. And then he had the game winning forced fumble that went out of the back of the end zone to win the game in overtime. Then he made some great plays on defense, knocking balls down, making clutch tackles to give Colorado the opportunity to be able to get the ball at the end of the game. Dude, Travis Hunt, the fact that he's able to play like that consistently throughout is amazing to me. It's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
both sides
That's
of the
amazing.
ball, man. It's just nuts.
It is. He only sits
He
out like 5 or 6 plays throughout a whole game. That's crazy.
We knew he was going to be a stud, out of high school, but I don't know if we knew it was going to even be this great. Like it's just wild how awesome of an athlete he
He's
really
making
is.
his case to be a top 5 pick anywhere to go. It don't matter
And
where he
and he
goes.
should be in Heisman conversation. He really should be.
Yes, yes. I know it's going to come down to like how many wins that school gets.
Yeah, that's going to hurt him.
It's going to hurt them. But I
Yep.
do believe. I mean, this is a big game because this is one of those. It was like on the spread, they only had them as a 1 point favorite. So it wasn't like it was a game that was like, oh my gosh, I expected them to win. No, no, this is a yeah. Colorado was a 1.5 point favorite, so it wasn't like no game where we were like, oh man, we expect them to win this game. It was up in the
Mm-hmm.
air. They got UCF next week, another hard game. So if they can beat some of these, like they got UCF, who's 3-1, Kansas State had a little bit of a blunder. I don't know what happened against BYU, but they got them. Then they got Arizona, then Cincinnati, then Texas Tech, then Utah. All of these teams that I'm naming out are all only one losses right now so far in the season. They're all 3-1. So, and then Oklahoma State to end the season, who's also 3-1. So Colorado got a little schedule ahead of them. If I feel like if they can come out of this next 7, 8 games, um, if they can come out of here these next 8 games, if they can win at least 6 out of 8, they lose 2, they win 6 out of 8. Travis Hunter have a chance at Heisman. With 3 losses, only 3 losses, they have a chance at Heisman.
You got Jacob Walden tuning in. He said Vanderbilt is actually decent. That's my choice. Yeah, they're better than they normally are. That's for sure. Diego
They
Pavia.
play better than they normally are. I don't think they
Yeah.
are than they normally
I don't know. That quarterback really brings another dimension to him. I'm not gonna lie. I watched a
are.
good bit of that Missouri game. Diego Pavia, he brings an element to that offense with his rushing ability. He can pass from time to time, but he helps them out, and he definitely kept them in that game. So
Yeah.
that's a good shout out to them. To me, I got to shout out Oklahoma. Oklahoma, they are who I thought they were. I think it was. I'll have to go back and make sure, but I'm pretty sure in our SEC preview, I had them 6-6 going into this season. First year being in the SEC, I'm pretty sure I had them going 6-6, and if I recall correctly, everybody else had a higher regard for them. And I figured the defense was going to still be there. The defense really is what kept them in that game against Tennessee, and it was only a 10-point game, and it's really crazy that it was just that close. If you watch the game, it was never even a doubt that Tennessee was going to win that game. That was the easiest money you probably could have made this weekend, was taking Tennessee covering at least 7, and both of us did take that. But good Lord Almighty, that offense is atrocious in Oklahoma. It is so bad. Jackson Arnold absolutely stinks. This guy reeks, man. He's about like Bryce Young in the NFL. Like he's working for the other team, man. Except they don't got Andy Dalton there to come and save the day, like he did today, man.
The backup did come in and play a lot better. He played a lot better.
You can't help but do better than that, man. He was literally, man. You saw it as soon as Oklahoma forced a turnover and got the ball. What did he do? He gave it right back. He fumbled it, like literally, not even joking. It's like next play crap. Next play, he's giving it away.
They got the ball on the 5-yard line.
Fumbled it.
Oklahoma got to really make this a game.
They could do something.
On the next play, I said this ain't real. They got a turnover on Tennessee the play before. The next play, he throws a ball behind himself. And Tennessee recovered. And I said, what is this?
Yeah, it
was so bad.
Ugly picks. Yeah, it was like bad luck Brian, man. He was just like, nothing this dude did was going well. Like it just wasn't his day, man. And I was a believer in him coming out of high school. I thought he was going to be good. It just may not be right, man. It may not be right. Next thing I got, we were wrong about USC, man. Me and you both, we both picked that one wrong this week. Michigan somehow, some way pulls out the dub. How was that offense? I didn't get to watch all of it. I was out and about Saturday. I was running a bunch of errands. But this dude, Alex Orji, had 32 yards passing. And they still won this game. Like, that is nuts. They ended up rushing the ball really well, and this is how they're gonna have to win games. This is just the recipe for success. They're gonna have to win with defense and just running this ball. And maybe they get better at it as time goes by, but good God, like that's a bad loss for USC. I feel like USC, that was kind of like, this is your chance to really take the moment, run with it. Like, you already have your highlight win against LSU. You can beat Michigan right now. They're weak. These guys are on the ropes. The offense has been atrocious this whole season up to this point. And then you come in and you lose to them by 3. Bad loss for USC.
Really bad loss for USC. I mean, USC, man. I was really, really surprised on this. Bro, I'm going to be honest with you, man. USC had this game.
They did. They did.
On why they lost this, in my opinion. I mean, we're at the end of the game, and you're going forward on 4th down. So let me tell you, I'm gonna just say, I mean, not the end of the game. The punt before the 10 play 89-yard drive that Michigan got to win the game. All right, 2-yard run by Woody Marks. Okay, that's what I like. Let's run the ball. Let's run this clock out, because we know this team. The only way they can go down the field is by running. They can't throw it. All right. Miller Ball threw an incomplete pass. Next play, false start. Miller Moss threw an incomplete pass. So we have 4 minutes left. I mean, we had 5 minutes left in the game. We only ran off 59 seconds. 2 incomplete passes. Why are we throwing the ball when we know this other team, the only way they can win is by running? They're not going to be doing anything huge. And then what hurts is the big run Khalil Mullings had that was 63 yards.
Yeah,
Donovan had
yeah.
a lot of missed tackles, so that hurt them in that process. But guess what? You could have ran so much. If the team only chance, this is not the 1960 Cleveland Browns when they had Jim Brown and they didn't throw the ball and they said, "Well, you know how we're gonna win the football game? We're gonna run Jim Brown down the field with the game on the line." This ain't this type of football. Well, guess what? Michigan played like in 1960, and guess what? They can't throw the ball. Why are we not running the clock out? I was watching again. I said, USC, that was stupid. Run the clock out. Why are you
4
throwing
clock
the ball
management.
against a team that can't throw? Like, coaching, man. Coach, but, props to Michigan. Michigan is definitely still alive in this, especially after that loss against Texas. Now Michigan has opportunity to go on. They still got some tough games. They still got Oregon. They still got Ohio State. Heck, they still got Washington. If you want to consider Washington a tough team for themselves, so they got some games still left on the schedule, and I think it's going to be not too easy for Michigan and for USC side, man. You gotta have those, man. Games like that, like they got a little bit of favorable schedule. I mean, they got Penn State at home, and then they got Nebraska at home, and they got Notre Dame at home. So some of their like harder
some
games,
tough
they
ones.
got them all at home, but they're tough.
Yeah, yeah. Jacob mentioned it here. Auburn is awful, he says, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I didn't watch the game. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I believe, if I'm not correct, Jacob, you can fact check me. You let me know if you watched the game. But I'm pretty sure they had the Hank. Remember, I told you they had benched Peyton Thorne. Hank was this Hank Brown, I think is his name. He was starting 3 interceptions. And if I'm not mistaken, just from looking at the stats, because I don't know how this game transpired, but throwing 3 interceptions. I'm guessing he got benched. Then Peyton Thorne came in because Peyton Thorne got some minutes in this matchup, and they lost to Arkansas. They are pretty bad. You are correct in that one. Anything else here of note? Yeah, we had some upsets.
Yeah,
Buffalo upset Northern Illinois.
yeah.
Who else do we have here? Outside of that, Michigan upsetting USC.
The
We
North
also
Carolina and James Madison. If anybody, I know
yes.
North Carolina wasn't ranked, but James Madison, the way they put it on them boys, that was very, very surprising.
Yeah, sounds like Hank Brown had a Jackson Arnold type day,
Yeah,
according
yeah.
to him.
We called
Uh,
Florida. We called Florida maybe potentially their only SEC win was against
yeah,
Mississippi State. We called that, so
they
that
got
was
their
that.
two. They got their two, man.
So
It's
you don't
done.
see no
It's
more,
all.
no more
It's
for
all.
SEC.
I mean, if you want to look at it, let's call it out again. Let's go through it one more time. Little thought exercise. Let's just take a look at this
Right,
Florida
UCF
schedule.
next week. No, in 2 weeks. They got UCF in 2 weeks.
That's a loss. I don't know. Dude. Are you really thinking? Are you really going to take them there?
And they got some confidence after beating the Mississippi State team. Come back at
I don't
home for
know.
UCF
I don't
and
know.
UCF team plays Colorado next week. I don't know how that game goes.
It'll either be that or Florida State. If they do get a win, they're not beating Tennessee.
No.
There's always this weird thing with them in Kentucky too. Is Kentucky's got this thing about how they play Georgia and how when they're at home, and then how they play Florida. Just every time Kentucky and Florida play, it's always this just knockdown drag out type thing. They're losing to Georgia. They're losing to Texas. They're losing to LSU. They're losing to Ole Miss. Those are foregone conclusions. They have a chance against UCF. They have a chance against Florida State, but Florida State will be playing at Florida State. They have nothing to lose,
Yeah.
but
And then
yeah, technically they do have stuff to lose. I mean, this battle over the state of Florida thing. If Florida State's going to have some pride, man, they're going to have some pride. Have some pride, man, in what you do, and they're going to come out and fight. UCF, I just think UCF's a solid team. I think they're a solid team. I think they might be a better team than Florida right now. They are 3-0 at the moment. We're going to find out a little bit about more this upcoming week. They're going to be playing Colorado. Right now, they are favored by 14 points against Colorado. I know this isn't pick time, but Torres, what would you take there? It's going to be Colorado going against UCF. UCF is a 14-point favorite. I know you're a big Colorado watcher. What do you think here?
Man, wait a minute. UCF is a 14-point favorite. That game is on the road. Ooh.
UCF ain't bad, man. UCF ain't bad.
UCF is not bad. I mean, I looked at all their weapons. They have old buddy from they used to play at Arkansas.
Yep.
They got obviously what's the name's the head coach, Hugh Freeze.
Panay Boone, they had him. He transferred in. He was good. Kobe Hudson's a solid
Kobe
wide receiver. They got some good defensive pieces.
Um,
You know where I'm leaning.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go with.
I think they can control clock and play defense. That's what I think they can do.
I'm looking at how UCF played. They have played some solid defense. They did. I mean, I don't think I could put TCU in the same sense as Colorado for this season. They did go on the road
Mm.
TCU team,
Mm-hmm.
35-34. A TCU team that was undefeated at the time. Um, I'm gonna go. I don't think they'll win it.
UCF is 14 points favorites is a lot. I'll take UCF to win, but not by two
I don't think
touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. Yeah, give me Colorado to
Maybe
cover.
10, maybe 7. I don't know. Somewhere in that range. Maybe 9. I don't know. But not 14. 14's asking a lot.
Yeah,
Jacob chimed in. He said, I think it's hilarious. Florida State has this type of year and they kick next season off with Bama. That's tough. That's just tough. That's tough stuff. All right. Anything NFL wise you want to cover here? How'd your Steelers look today?
Steelers look phenomenal, man. Steelers are looking really, really good. I've been so happy to see the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're looking really good with Hurts. We're looking really. I'm just sorry, not hurt. I'm glad we don't got Hurts. Actually,
Oh,
we're looking really good with Justin. Justin Fields. Um, Man, Fields has been playing phenomenal, bro. Today he threw for over 200 some yards. He looked really good. He threw a touchdown pass. He's making really good throws. Like to start the game, he went for 11 for 11. Like he looked really good. Then our defense, we have only given up the most points we've given up all year is 10 points. Gave it 10 to the Falcons, gave up 10 today to the Chargers, gave it 6 to the Broncos, who turned around, went on the road, and destroyed the Buccaneers. So Chargers was undefeated coming in. Falcons, as we saw, they went on the road and what they did to the Eagles. It's not like we beat no cupcake teams. We're beating these other teams that beat these other good teams as well. So it's like, I like where the Steelers are at. Next week we got the Colts. Then the following week, I think we got to play. I could be completely wrong. I want to say Cowboys. I think I'm wrong on that. I don't know. But we're playing as a really good team. We do play the Cowboys. We play the Cowboys at home. So yeah, we got the Colts, got the Cowboys at home. Then we got the Raiders, and then we got the Jets. Like we still got a hard little schedule left because we still in a division with the Browns, the Bengals, and the Ravens. As long as those teams there, as long as they got their quarterbacks, they're always going to be an opportunity and a weapon. But with our defense, I like us against anybody, man. I really do. I really like us against anybody. I like what the Steelers are able to bring to the table. Mike Tomlin, I would say obviously Andy Reid is now above him. There was a time Tomlin was above Andy Reid on the all-time coaching list, but I definitely believe that Andy Reid has surpassed him. So, but no longer Belichick, I say Mike Tomlin is the second best head coach in the league right now, behind Andy Reid. Yes, you can throw in all these other guys as well, but Mike Tomlin is consistent and he knows how to get these guys winning. We ain't had some of the opportunities and weapons like everybody had. Obviously, we did have him like with Big Ben and all those guys, and Brown and all those guys. But it's been a minute since we had stuff like that. And yet we always find ways to win, and yet we find ways to make the playoffs. Man, I love
every time, dude. No kidding. Some other notable kind of, I guess you could say upsets. Vikings just tore up the Texans. I didn't quite see that one coming. That was bad.
I think they're good.
They're good, and it's wild. You just JJ McCarthy going down, Sam Darnold stepping in. You thought it was going to be this might not be too good. They're 3-0. Eagles beat the Saints. Broncos come in and dominate the Buccaneers. Thought that was wild.
That shocked me.
Giants beat the Browns. My boy Malik Neighbors. Dude's been going off in fantasy. I freaking love having him, man. He's been awesome. Let's see. Panthers with Andy Dalton. I know I alluded to it earlier, but it is so crazy the contrast between the Panthers with Bryce Young and the Panthers with Andy Dalton. As well as I do, I hyped up Bryce Young coming out of this. I thought Bryce Young was an awesome quarterback. Maybe it's just not his time. Maybe he does need some time to get right. Maybe this is good for him, what's happening, getting benched and Andy Dalton coming in. But I can tell you one thing. It's better for this team to have Andy Dalton starting right now. Andy Dalton looked phenomenal today. That team, a totally different team today. And they won 36-22 against the Raiders. Dolphins look awful without Tua. Really, 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 really bad. They need to get somebody else in there besides whoever that Skylar Thompson or something like that is his name, and he got hurt. They need to, you know what they should do? They should go and trade for Russell Wilson from y'all. You could get
They
something.
should, but get what? I don't want to like to have that type of veteran on the bench for us. Two-time former Super Bowl. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but you've been to Super Bowl twice. Super Bowl
Yeah.
winning champion quarterback, a lot of experience in the playoffs. I would love for him to always be in the ear of Justin Fields, as long as we got him, because he's going to help us. He's going to help us. So,
Yeah.
but for the Dolphins' sake, yes, they definitely should trade for him.
Yes. We were watching this one before the show, but the Ravens about blowing it against the Cowboys. That was pretty wild. And then Lions beating Cardinals. So that's what went down. Packers. I think I skipped over, but Packers beating the Titans as well. Oh yeah, and Rams beating the 49ers. That was a bit of a shocker today too. Rams being down all the weapons, Cup being out, Nakua being out. They have offensive line down, and Stafford still able to survive and advance against the 49ers, who normally have a pretty solid defense and who even without their pieces did good offensively today. Jawan Jennings absolutely ripped me a new one in fantasy today. 43 freaking fantasy points. So shout out to him. Shout out to him on that. Yeah, it sucked. Really hurt me today. So anything crazy you want to discuss NFL wise?
No, man. Like I did say this, all them Titan fans out there. I called it. I said the Packers, Malik Willis was definitely going to give it to the Titans.
He looked good.
Playing his old team. I said, oh man, going back to Tennessee, he had a reason why. And boy,
Chip on his shoulder.
Yep. So I am excited for tonight's game for the Falcons and Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, Logan Gordon, he said in our group message, he said, man, I already expected. We have the lead against the Chiefs. They're driving down the
Last
field.
second.
And they get a last second pass interference to get a field goal range, and then boom, they go to the game.
Crazy thing is that this, like, leading up to this game, it has that kind of feeling to it. Like, there's been a lot of hype there. I think it was Adam Schefter tweeted it out earlier today. He said there is a belief amongst a lot of individuals within the organization that this is the biggest game that the Falcons have played in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium up to this point. They think there is a lot riding on this after the big comeback in Philly. Arthur Blank is getting inducted into the Ring of Honor. They're doing this thing where they're giving away chips and hot dogs and drinks and stuff for the fans. And this is, the back-to-back Super Bowl, champions coming into your place, and, you're defending your home turf. We'll see. There's a big feeling behind this game, and I have a feeling it's going to be closer than what people think. And Logan could be certainly right with that. It has that kind of feeling to it, man.
It has that kind of feeling, yep.
It really does. All right.
I do agree.
Yeah, so let's go into our week 4 picks. This last week, Torres, we did pretty bad, man. We did pretty bad. You were 3-8. I was 4-7. The only difference was I picked Arkansas with the 3.5 points. You picked Auburn to cover 3.5. We were both wrong on Nebraska, Cal, Georgia Tech, LSU, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and USC. So. Pretty rough week this last week. Let's see if we can bounce back. So we'll start things off with Florida State traveling and playing SMU. SMU's a 4.5 point favorite here. Torres, do you want to lead this one off, or you want me to start us?
Ooh, this is actually going to be a really interesting game. I'm going to go with SMU, man. It's not surprising to me. They got to go on the road too.
Yeah.
Florida State didn't look that good. Even though they won, they didn't look that good anyway. I did pick Cal against them, and I picked Cal to beat them and stuff, but I don't see how Florida State's not good. They're not good.
Yeah, I know they had one rushing touchdown. Looks like one passing touchdown, and only scored 14 points the whole game against Cal. Cal was 3-0 going into that game. They only scored 9, so it looks like the defense stepped up pretty heavily. SMU's been putting up some points up to this point, and I'm just trying to think. I know they're playing at home. They're 4.5 point favorites here. Oh man, it's tough. And then I think the biggest competition they've played up to this point is they played BYU and lost by 3, and then they played TCU. It looks like every game that TCU's in, it's a freaking boat race. Like it is. They won that game 66-42. So yeah, it looks like they're getting on a roll though. I am going to take SMU here as well. So both of us going SMU early. Let's see here. Number 21, Oklahoma. They are road dogs going to Auburn. Okay, unranked Auburn. Auburn coming off another loss to Arkansas. So what do you got for me here?
Um, Hard to believe anything much into Auburn. Now Auburn did not look good, but after seeing the offense of Oklahoma, this is definitely going to be a low scoring game. I would like to know the
Yeah.
spread on over and under for this game, because that's the real question.
Over and under. Let me see if I can pull it up for you, man.
I don't
Asking
see
you
many
shall
points.
receive.
I think I can see this game easily being a like 2017, 17-14 type game. And even then, that's a lot of points for these teams. Like, their offense is definitely Iowa esque.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
watching Iowa. It's like, woo, what? This is rough. So, gonna be a lot of punting this game. But give me Oklahoma. I don't see how Auburn beats these guys at all.
So I'm looking at the over under now. It looks like it's 53 and a half.
That's
A little
about 20.
higher. A little higher than I thought that would be.
Really? Give me
Mm-hmm. So well, let's see. According to
a-
FanDuel ended up going 47 and a half.
Okay.
A little bit
That's still
closer for you.
that's still a little high,
Still a
because that
little
means
high.
not necessarily both have to have 20 plus, but you you see either one of these teams really score over 20. Then again, college football been so wild.
The offenses are both going to struggle because I trust Oklahoma's defense. I just don't trust their offense. And then Auburn, I think they can get creative enough offensively. I just don't trust their defense really. Like I don't know. I know that this is so. You took Oklahoma here, correct?
Yes.
Golly, I feel like I just don't think I can do it. Like part of me really wants to take Auburn with the 2.5 points because
That's
I think there's
hard,
gonna be
bro.
some type of trickery stuff. Maybe Peyton Thorne comes back in. I don't know if I can even get behind it though. Yeah, give me
You're right,
Oklahoma.
Tyler. So think about this. Like you say, it could be some trickery, some flea flicking, some crazy
Yeah,
plays, but all they need is like one or two of those to work. Boom, I'm up 14. I
yeah,
won the game. Because
yeah, yeah,
but then again, you say you don't trust Auburn defense. So Auburn could, I
yeah,
mean, Oklahoma could have more success offensively than expected.
yeah. All right, so let's swing it on to unranked Arkansas coming off a big win against Auburn. They're going to College Station to play number 24 Texas A&M. A&M comes in as 10.5 point favorites here. I'm going to start this off, and I had this as a loss for Arkansas coming into this, and I still think it could be. The 10.5 is what really throws things into flux here for me.
And well,
Um, A&M does look good, even without Connor Wegman, they still did pretty good. At quarterback.
hmm
Arkansas has been getting their thing going though. Trying to see, is Wegman back? Did he play this last week? Because you got to think they struggled. Texas A&M struggled at home against Bowling Green this last week. They only won 26-20. So that's another thing to kind of think on. Yeah, Wegman still wasn't back in. It was still Marcel Reed. Give me Arkansas to stay within 10.5. That's what I'm gonna go with here.
okay. Ooh. Give me Arkansas as well. Same, very similar reasons. I just don't trust Texas A&M enough. Overall, they have struggled a little bit here and there throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at a lot of their schedule, still they have some flaws throughout. I don't think Texas A&M is really a team to. I'm usually big on Texas A&M, but after seeing them play Florida 2 weeks ago, now granted they got a bye week. I think that's huge for
I
them.
thought they didn't look too bad against Florida. That was with the backup quarterback too.
That was with the backup quarterback, but they looked good defensively. Not so much
Yeah,
offense. I know they were up 20-0 at
they did
halftime.
some stuff offensively. I didn't think they were too terrible, but they weren't sexy by any means.
No, they weren't sexy. No. That's probably more of what I'm looking forward to for the team like A&M. But I got to remember they're different. Bowling Green. Maybe I'm thinking more of the Bowling Green game because I was a little disappointed in that. I saw
Yeah,
them
they were. Yeah.
and that was not too pretty at all. I I was leaning that 10.5 is a lot, especially against a team like Arkansas, coming off a big win, and you got the head coach playing for his job. But Arkansas has not looked that great, and Arkansas did not look that good against UAB. struggled a good bit with a team that as you said, Auburn defense is not that good. I haven't watched enough of Auburn myself. But for Auburn team not have that great of a defense, and I think Texas A&M has a little bit better of a defense of Auburn. Give me A&M to take the points.
Okay, so let's see. Arkansas. You're going. Oh, so you're going to switch to A&M. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to switch to A&M. Yeah.
All right. Cool. A&M minus the 10.5. All right. Gotcha. All right. So now that leads us to unranked Kentucky going against number 6 Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 17.5 point favorite here. I will take Ole Miss to cover the spread. Kentucky did have a bounce back offensive game against, I think it's Miami of Ohio this last week. If that's telling you anything, I don't know how much you can really read into that. Or no, just Ohio. 41-6. They won against Ohio, not Miami of Ohio. Ole Miss coming off a big win against Georgia Southern, if you can call it a big win. Big win is in like they covered a lot of points. But the defense really hasn't been giving up much, man. I mean, they didn't give up anything to Furman. They only gave up 3 points to Middle Tennessee, 6 points to Wake Forest, 13 to Georgia Southern. I just don't see. I don't think Kentucky's got the recipe for success to keep this game close. I think if Ole Miss can get up early, get up big, Kentucky's offense ain't built to come back. This is an offense that thrives on being up in a game, or at least being able to keep things even on the defensive side of the ball, and being able to chew the clock up and just really sim this thing down some. So I think Ole Miss gets up big. Kiffin's going to draw up some stuff. That's one thing you can rely on, is Kiffin can break things open if he needs to. Give me Ole Miss to cover that 17.5.
Ole Miss has been helping me out, man. I've been into some of the prize picks and some of those things of that nature. I've been playing along with it.
Okay.
Boy Jackson. Oh. Hey, last game he had 315. The game before that he had 306. Or the spread was 315. The last game before that was 306. He's murdering these spreads. Now, I do believe he is playing probably one of the better defenses he's played all year long.
Probably so. Actually, no. It definitely is the best defense he's played up to this point. He's played Georgia Southern. He's played Wake Forest. He's played Furman. Who's the other one I said? Middle Tennessee. Yeah.
Oh, so this is the best.
Kentucky definitely is the best defense.
So now we're going to really see. Granted, this game is at home, but we're really going to see. Okay, how good? Look, don't get me wrong. A Lane Kiffin offense is always going to most of the time be a really good offense. So Ole Miss is going to be good on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to see how dynamic, how good they are. Now they're going to have some pushback. Now they're going to have some. They ain't going to have I'm scoring on every drive to start the game. I'm not going to score on the first 5 to 6, 7 drives. Now we're going to have some stops. Okay, what you going to do now when you're not being able to force the ball as much as you are? I still think they cover. I still think they handle business. Give me Ole Miss in this one.
Okay. All right, so Minnesota, unranked Minnesota, is going against number 12 Michigan. Michigan is coming in as a 10.5 point favorite in this one. Minnesota, they can run the ball from time to time. Like they can get things going. They're going to be a similar team as Michigan in this sense. Like they're going to want to play defense and run the ball. I just don't know if they're going to be able quite to do that. They're coming in at 2-2 at the moment. They lost to Iowa 31-14, and Iowa does play a similar style of ball again to Michigan. Michigan is at home. We just saw what they did. I don't think they sleep on this game. Give me Michigan to cover the 10.
Ooh, good job. That's a good one. That's a really
sounded like Corso just saying, good pick. Good job.
Look, I actually thought you were going to lean Minnesota a little bit because of how much struggle Orger, the quarterback.
Orgy.
He's not that good, man. Michigan.
He does struggle.
All you need is 2 touchdowns, and then you just run the ball for the rest of the game. That's one thing about Michigan. They're very old school. They're going to get the lead. They're going to get the lead, and they're going to stick with it, man. That was a big win for them to beat USC last week. I think they continue it against Minnesota. Give me Michigan to take the points as well.
Michigan. All right. Yeah, just for reference here, Iowa's running back, Caleb Johnson, has been really good for me, especially in college football fantasy. He had 21 carries for 206 yards and 3 touchdowns against Minnesota. So what do you think Michigan's going to do here? It's going to be a similar game plan, man. I think they run it to perfection. They play good defense because I do – oh, this is weird to say. I don't know. As matter of fact, let me pose the question: who do you think is better right now, Iowa or Michigan? Because that actually is pretty tight. Like that they both their offenses you don't really want. They both
Yeah.
have good rushing attacks as far as you can trust that they're going to try to run that ball, and they both have good defenses. Who would you take right now?
Uh, man, give me, give me Michigan. Only because
Michigan.
I can, because maybe they're a little bit more run dynamic.
Mm.
If that was the case, it's like they are obviously run with their running backs, obviously, but they can do certain things with their receivers to run the ball as well. Their receivers just not
Mm-hmm.
standing out there in the slot and blocking the whole game. I mean, they're able to like, okay, we can get some tosses to our receivers, we can get some tosses over here. They're a little bit dynamic with it. So I give them that edge because of that. But that's the only
Yeah.
reason. Because this team, if Michigan expect to survive in the rest of the Big Ten playing like this, they got a lot, bro. They got to play Oregon. They got Penn State. They got Ohio State. These boys about to get ran out. We think they're gonna get ran off the field because I thought USC was gonna do it. You got to remember when you're running the ball, it might not be the sexiest thing, but by God, it takes the clock off and it keeps the other team offense off the field. So that's one thing Michigan gonna have for them. It's gonna be hard for you to blow them out because I feel like a team like Texas beat them 31-12, and that was mainly because of all the turnovers Michigan had. I felt like
Mm.
Texas probably could have racked up even more points, but it's hard to we ain't got the ball on. Time of
Yeah.
possession is always going to Michigan, so
It definitely will.
it definitely I can see that. You're right. I can see them a little bit over Iowa.
Oh man, so this one's gonna get a little different, man. This one right here. We got unranked Washington State. They're coming in, man. They are 4-0 at the moment. They're going against number 25 Boise State at Boise State. Boise State is a 7-point favorite in this one. Washington State. I haven't done my research too much into them, so I'm over here trying to look through a little bit of the statistics. And they pulled out some big wins. They beat Washington. They beat Texas Tech. It I mean, of course, they beat Portland State. They're coming off a 2-point win against San Jose State where they won 54-52. And I'm trying to think about what type of team this is. It looks like they got a quarterback that can. He's a dual threat quarterback. He this last week he ran for 111 yards on 18 carries and he passed for 390 yards. I don't think you're going to quite be able to do that against Boise State. I do think Boise State's going to be able to control the clock with that running back, man. They got probably one of the best running backs in the nation at this point in Ginty. I might need to do my research on this one a little bit more, but I'm still going to take Boise State right here to cover the 7 points because part of me really wants to say lock this one in. This is free money at the moment, but I need to probably give Washington State a little bit more of a look. But Boise State is going to be my pick here.
Ooh, brother. This is so. These actually become a hard games to pick now because
Have
Washington
you
State.
have you have you watched Washington State?
I haven't, but I did see they beat Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
They did. I think it was at Washington too.
it was at Washington. These games are starting to get a lot harder to pick, man. These games are not becoming easy peasy anymore.
No.
uh, and you know what? Look, I said that it comes a lot from the NIL, the transfer portal. It's going to become a lot harder for a lot of these games to be as predictable as sometimes they would be. Like you will see a certain team like Michigan or Florida or something. They play these certain bad teams. You're like, man, like you said today, there was never a time we were ever questioning whether Florida would beat a UCF. But now even with how bad they are, but now we do that because they're like, well, UCF got a lot of weapons. They got this type of transfer,
Mm-hmm.
they got this type of player, they got this type of, so it's a lot
Pedigree.
different.
Yeah.
The pedigree, and I think because of that, Boise State has benefited off that with themselves. Boise State have always been the middle line. We remember back in 2007 when they finally got a chance to opportunity to play in one of the Big Six bowls, and they played obviously. Who they played? Was it Fiesta Bowl? They played Oklahoma State. Was it Oklahoma State or Oklahoma? I think it was Oklahoma.
Oh, you talking about way back? Yeah. That was Oklahoma. Adrian
Oklahoma.
Peterson was still there, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, Oklahoma. So
And they
they
won on
played.
the Statue of Liberty.
That's right. They ran the Statue of
That
Liberty.
was
So those
cool.
type of teams are starting to benefit off of that.
Uh huh.
Um, there's a reason why Vegas has them as a -7 favorite. That is it's pretty hefty for a team, a 2-1 team at home going against a team that's 4-0. But I did see that Washington State went to 4 overtimes with San Jose State, and they
Mm,
gave up 30 points to Portland State. They beat Portland State 70-30. Now,
yeah.
granted, I'm about to look at it right now to see when those 30 points were scored. Um, mm, so the main majority of their touchdowns for it came a little bit in the first half. They had 17 in the first half, and then they finished off with 2 touchdowns in the second half. So it is what it is. Give me Boise State to cover.
Okay. This one I'm sitting here struggling with. It's going to be number 8 Oregon. They're traveling to UCLA, and they are the road favorites here. They're 24-point favorites at the moment, and Oregon, they've been that team where, remember, we were like, man, after week 1, is this team legit? They only beat Idaho by 10. They only beat Boise by 3. That they ended up bouncing back and beating Oregon State 49-14. So that was a larger, margin of victory. So that was good. They are going to UCLA today, or not today, but this week. UCLA kept it closer against LSU than both of us thought. They ended up, keeping it. I think it was just 17 points they lost to, and that was at LSU. UCLA's home turf really isn't a big deal here because they don't really draw that many fans. Like it's an empty stadium when it's all said and done for them, and so I don't think that's going to be an issue. It's just an issue of if Oregon's going to be able to consistently put up points and if they're going to be able to play defense. And I was kind of shaky with that at first, but give me Oregon to cover the 24. I'm going to stand behind it. I think they're going to catch their groove. I think they're starting to get in the groove of things, and I think Landon's going to get them on track here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Oregon. I'm gonna go Oregon, man. Oregon is not gonna be able to keep playing these bad games like that. Like they played a Boise State, but that's a little bit reason why I picked Boise State as well because Boise State gave Oregon all they can handle, and that was on that was in Oregon. UCLA played a tough game, and I forgot, man. I solely forgot that UCLA offensive coordinator is the former offensive coordinator from the Kansas City Chiefs. I think his
The
name right
enemy or
now.
whatever?
Yeah, Eric Bieniemy. So to have him there, I was like, oh man, 'cause they were dicing up. They were dicing LSU up in that first half. It was a really good game, starting off.
Mm-hmm.
You got really rolling. But I think it'll be hard to get going against a team like Oregon, man. So give me Oregon in this one and to take the points.
All right. This one's going to get a little dicey here, too. Number 20, Oklahoma State versus number 23, Kansas State. Kansas State are the home favorites here at 5.5. Golly. Or actually, it's done switched to 4.5. I should change that. Let me see here. So 4.5 for them at the moment. And we got Darnell Mooney over here dotting it up. In this Falcons
I
game,
know, I
I got
saw
it pulled up on
that.
the side. Mooney's over here making catches, man. Oklahoma State and Kansas State both coming off losses. Oklahoma State losing to Utah. They did make a late comeback to try to make things close. Kansas State absolutely got their tail spanked by BYU. Like it was just ugly. You got to think there's going to be a bounce back here. But you also got to think Oklahoma State, have they proven that they can play against tougher competition defensively? Because BYU ain't too bad of a defense, man. They're actually pretty solid. They played against Arkansas as well. We all know that one went into double overtime. Kansas State, their toughest game up to this point. They did beat Arizona when we made that pick. This one's tough for me, man, because Oklahoma State, like Jackson even brought it up in our first, in one of these picks we had. They could be good one week, they could suck the next. Just about. It's just flippy floppy. Man, give me Kansas State at home to cover 4.5 points. That's who I'm gonna go with.
Kansas State.
Yeah,
Kansas State, man. After seeing what they did last week to BYU,
yeah, yeah. I know.
brother.
Wasn't
Was
pretty.
it another injury? Like, what made them play so
I don't
bad?
know. I don't know.
Because I about to say I didn't tune enough into that one.
I can't tell you,
I was just
man.
shocked to see the score. Um, but I'm going to go out on a limb, brother. I'm going to have to go against you. I'm going to have to go Oklahoma State, man. After seeing that
You
type of play,
you could very well easily be right, man.
After seeing that
Honestly,
play,
I don't feel confident about this whatsoever. Just so you know.
and then the thing you look at Kansas State, I mean Oklahoma State, and they lost a tight game to Utah team that don't have a really good quarterback. You know, with what's the name being hurt and out.
Yeah, with Ryzen being out, yeah.
Yeah, so
All
yeah,
right, so you're
that's
going Oklahoma State with the four
Oklahoma
and a
State
half.
that one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, lead us into this one. Number 15, Louisville going against number 16, Notre Dame at Notre Dame. 9.5 point favorites is who Notre Dame is.
Ooh, 9.5 point favorites. Man. Give me Notre Dame to win the game, but Louisville to cover. There's no it's Notre Dame, man. Notre Dame always going to have tight games to the end. When has Notre
Mm-hmm.
Dame ever had a game where they just absolutely ran through somebody? Please, somebody show me that time. Because if you can show me that, I'll definitely believe you. But guess what? I don't believe it. Notre Dame ain't ran through nobody in a very, very long time. Hard for me to see that
I
now.
don't know. They ran through. Well, not at home, but
Oh,
they
let me
ran
say it
through
right.
Purdue 66-7.
Let me say that. Let me say this correct.
Touchdown Falcons. You saw that, didn't you?
I did. I just seen it on the ESPN app. But let me be correct. Notre Dame running through a ranked team, like 9.5, 10 plus. Man, that's gonna shock me, man. I don't see that happen. I don't see that happen. So, give me give me Notre Dame, but give me Louisville to cover.
Okay. So Louisville plus the 9.5. All right. Let's see here. All right, so yeah, Louisville coming off the win against Georgia Tech, they won by 12. That's the kind of the best competition they've played up to this point. They're going against Notre Dame at Notre Dame. Feel like Notre Dame, like you said, keeps these things close. Yeah, I'll lean with you on that one. I'll go same thing. Louisville plus the 9.5. All right, two more matchups, and then and of course, they're leading up to the big dogs here. So number 19, Illinois, coming off of a win against they ended up beating Nebraska, right? We both picked Nebraska in that one, and we were wrong. We were wrong. And I didn't think I was going to be, but we were. And they're going against number 9 Penn State at Penn State. This is a 7:30 game, which does make a difference in Happy Valley. And Penn State is a 17.5 point favorite. They have been looking better. My feelings toward Penn State. I haven't been a big guy on them in quite some time. Is this the moment that we think that they can blow them out? 17.5 is a weird number. I am going to go with Illinois to keep it within 17.5.
Penn State, they love to set these lines and these weird.
Get you with that hook.
To get you with a hook. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Illinois.
Okay.
I think Illinois at least can keep that cover. I've got Penn State winning as well. That's not. I'm not calling it for Penn State to lose. But I'm giving Illinois to cover 17.5, especially against a team like you said. This just came off a big win on the road against Nebraska. Granted, that game went overtime. It was a tight game. So I agree with you. But I think Illinois is a team to be reckoned with. They beat a solid Kansas team. They went on the road to beat a good Nebraska team that I feel like I don't see Nebraska losing any more games up until Ohio State. And now you're going on the road to play another undefeated Penn State team. This would be huge for Illinois because if Illinois can get past Penn State, they still got some hard ones. I mean, they got Michigan at home, which I feel like is very doable. And then you got Oregon on the road. And then after that, it's a sweepstakes. So they just got to make sure they can get through what they can. Like, this is a big game for them. This is another big game for them. So give me Illinois to cover.
Yeah, give me same thing here. Penn State to win, Illinois to cover. All right, Torres, I'm going to let you kick this one off, man. The big one of them all, the first real, sure enough, big game of this season, I feel like. This Saturday, college game day, number 2 Georgia as a 2.5 point favorite, away favorite, going to Tuscaloosa to face number 4 Alabama. Take it away, man.
Brother. Well, this is the game I've been waiting on, man. Been waiting on this. Look, every year, we know who we got to play. We know who we got to beat. We know who we got to see. There ain't no reason to duck it. We ain't got to wait to the end of the season no more. We get them in the fourth game of the, so what is it, fourth or third? Or I mean, fourth or fifth game, whatever. We get
Yeah,
them
fourth
early in the week.
week, fourth week. Right? Ain't that right? No.
I
This
think
is
it's
week
fifth
five.
week. I
This
think
is
it's
week
fifth week
five. I had that mixed up there. Yeah, week
or
five
fourth
picks.
game.
Good job.
Fourth game.
Fourth game.
But regardless, we get them early. We get Alabama early.
Yes.
This is what I've been waiting on, bro. Now, I have said this before. When I made a prediction then, I'll make it now. We ain't playing Nick Saban. We ain't playing old Saint Nick. We're playing Caleb the Boy. We're playing Alabama. That's not the same. These Alabama teams now, they're on the sideline making TikTok videos. They dancing, they grooving, they jiving, they chilling, they killing. They're being more like teams of today. They ain't on the whole hard school Alabama team. Is it still good? Yes. I see some flaws in Alabama early. Now, before I make this pick, you have to remember, Georgia, you're not off the hook. It's not like you're perfect, Georgia. Mm-hmm. It's not like when I watch you play, I'm like, oh, I'm super confident, because that Kentucky game did not give me no super duper, man, I can't wait to play Alabama type of feel. It gave me, man, can we push Alabama back one more week? That's what that type of feel it almost gave me. Georgia has had a bye week. And most of the time coming off buys, if anybody's seen from Kirby, he does really good when he has preparation. We have an entire week. We've had 2 weeks to study Alabama. Same way Alabama's had 2 weeks to study us. But it's not like it was 2 weeks to study a study from Nick Saban. It's been 2 weeks of study from freaking Caleb. Now, I'm not saying he's not a great coach, but this is going to be his first big game. His first big game after the tutelage of Nick Saban, after the storied career of Nick Saban. This is his first big game, and it's at home. Then they said they're doing something big for Nick Saban in that game. It's going to be huge. But I feel like the mantle has definitely been passed over. It is Kirby Smart time. We cannot keep losing to this team. We will figure out whether this is a Nick Saban problem or was it an entire Alabama problem. We just can't beat this team to save our life. It's a curse playing against them. And I personally feel like it was a Nick Saban thing. Kirby couldn't get over the hump versus him. It's not, if we look at the entire career of Kirby, it's not like Kirby was losing to any team. He's been losing to Nick Saban constantly. And I feel like, granted, that's been obviously because it's Alabama. I feel like that changes Saturday. Give me Georgia, obviously, to cover 2.5 because it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, I would love to be as optimistic as you. I would love to be, feeling good going into this one. It's hard to, man. And it's not even just based off the Kentucky game. It's just based off of previous history. I know we got him the one time in the national championship, and that boy was that amazing. It was an awesome feeling. I loved it, man. But really, ever since then, it's still been a thing where it's been an issue for me that I feel like we play them differently than we play every other team. Like there's this thing we do this thing where we overthink things. We spy to people. We don't blitz them. We get cute with the play calling. There's so many things we do that just befuddles me. And I've already seen some of these tendencies going into this game. We did it against Kentucky. The play calling was a bit of an issue. I came out and said that, very vocal about it. I just don't think I have the confidence to say that is a thing that changes before this weekend. I don't know if Bobo's going to end up doing the right thing offensive play calling wise. I don't know if we're going to be aggressive on the defensive side and rush 5 and try to get to Milroe, because I think that's the strategy for success here. I don't think we could sit back and give him time. I want to get him off of his base. I want to pressure him. I want to make him feel us. If you lose every now and then where he ends up slipping away, it is what it is. You just chalk it up. But I feel like we can't just sit back and wait. We can't do this spying crap. We got to get after him. We got to get after him. We got to get him shook. And that's the recipe for success. I feel like if we rush his throws, he'll make some bad ones. I feel like, we can really alter this game into our favor. So if those things happen, if we end up getting to the point where, we're not being conservative on defense and also offense, we can't do this crap where we're just throwing it 5 yards down the field or throwing it short of the sticks every play. We're just running it, the first 2 plays of every, after we get a first down. Like, we got to get aggressive. We can't. This isn't just a normal game. This is the game.
We got to throw
So
it down the field, please,
yeah,
Bobo.
blow it
Please.
down the field. So I up it. Until I see it, I have to go against it. I'm taking Alabama with the 2.5 points. I just got to do it.
Alec, no. I'm not gonna let you do this. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. See, you're doing this for yourself. You're doing this for your feelings. You're okay. You're like,
I'm hedging.
if Alabama wins, I'm okay because I knew.
No, it won't be okay. It'll never be okay if they win, man. It won't be okay.
You're accepting of it. You're accepting of it because we've lost to it for so many times. You're like, what no reason to get my hopes up. But no. You can't do that. You can't do that. You gotta actually believe. Look, I agree with you in all your points. Bobo, raw, gone. He's the reason why the Kentucky game was close.
Yeah.
Bro, me and my granddad talked about it today. He was like, why Mike Bobo sit here trying to force the run when we ain't got nothing? Every time Beck threw the ball down the field, we completed something. What are we doing in the play calling? That was a struggle.
Yeah.
Two, you're right. They can't come out here slouching. They can't come out here waiting. We already know this is the big game. This ain't Kentucky. This ain't Clemson. Yeah, those are games, but like there's a reason why we play who we play. There's a reason why we do what we do. Everybody know what game we look at. It's like the big fight. You didn't come here, you didn't turn on the fight. Now there's some fights you do turn on for the prelims. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping to be a prelim.
The main event. This is the main event.
We turn on the pay-per-view for the main event. We know a game. I feel like everybody's gonna come to play. Don't get me wrong. I do think Milroe and all them, they gonna come to play now. That 17-year-old William, they gonna come to play now. So it's gonna be a game. But
we're about to get physical with that Ryan Williams. We're going to get physical with him. We got to we can't just let him be free. We got to rough him up a bit, but don't take this as an indictment against the players because I think that we will have a major bounce back as far as the performance of our players. I just don't trust the adults that much. I'm in that thing where I don't trust. I don't, and I know I shouldn't be in that thing, but I don't know, man. It's just hard for me to trust them at this moment. I feel like I've been burnt. I feel like we got burnt like this past year in the SEC championship game. Really, really stung. And like I said, it's just coming off of this recent Kentucky game, it feels like we're in the same business. We're in the same thing we're doing. I just don't trust it at the moment. I do think the defense will show up. I think if we get aggressive with that, big things can come, good things can happen. I'm just worried about the offensive, man. I'm worried about the offensive side. I need to see some production, so that's why I'm going with it. Do I think we can win? I do think we can. It's just I'm not going to pick it. I'm just not. I'm going to pick Alabama. That's how I'm going to do. Last time I picked Alabama, I'm pretty sure I picked Georgia in that SEC championship game this last time, and we lost. I felt the only time I picked Alabama was the time we actually won at Torres. So I'm pretty sure if we go back on that thing because I was always optimistic like you.
I know what you said, and I'm gonna be a little bit against you on that one.
I'm gonna be a positive jinx.
I know we won the national championship. I know we beat them in the national championship. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I loved it because we won our first one, but the second one I felt better than the first one. Yes, we beat Alabama, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The fact that it had some of those injuries still get at me. This game to me feels a little bit like, can we beat this team? Why? There's no excuses. I think
we can.
No excuses. Can we beat this team straight up? Hell, straight up. Ain't no excuse. And I don't care who gets injured in the game. Because they were coming into the game with injuries. Then obviously the injuries happened within the game. Then the way the game. I understand how Bama players like to talk. Then you see them in the NFL like how Wilson and all them boys been playing. You hear all that.
Yeah, it took him a little bit. He's finally getting better though.
Yeah, he is.
Bryce is the other way around. I don't know. Yeah, Bryce has done a 180. Sadly.
Yeah, but hey, let's do it, man. I'm excited. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So that's going to conclude it. Any last things you got here before we break it down?
No, man. The fight documentary just dropped. Definitely, everybody go and tune in whenever you got a chance. Hopefully, like tune in at halftime or tune in, after the game or whenever you got time throughout the week. Definitely tune in. Thank everybody and all the fans for all your support. Please tune in and keep prayers over me, watch over me as we make our trip to Vegas there back. And yeah, man, thank you for all the support for everybody. Continue supporting the podcast. And yeah, man, we're gonna go get this dub on October 1st, and this time We're gonna change that tune to what Dana says. Let's go make history, baby. We wanna go make.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Yeah, I see it. I had to look it up. I see where it's up. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys out there for tuning into the live stream. Thank you for out there for listening to this recording on podcast. If you want to listen to us on podcast, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere pretty much anywhere podcasts are located. If you want to support the show, follow us on our social medias. And then you can also click in the description, go to the link tree link, and you can support us in other type of ways if you want to as well. We thank you guys out there for listening, and as always, we'll see you next time.
Boom, boom.